Welcome back to another episode of Your Creative Adventure. This is another artist spotlight, and I'm so excited to feature Terri Moore. Welcome, Terri.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Great
Terri
to
and
be
I
able to talk to you.
Yes, Terri and I connected on Instagram, and she had supported me with my brush strokes workbook, and we've just connected, many different ways. And so I'm just excited for her to share her story of her Etsy shop and how she's grown it to what it is today. But before we dive in, let me just share a little bit about you, Terri, from your bio. Terri Moore describes herself as always being a very artsy person. She has been able then to take her love of paper crafting and turn it into a business on Etsy. She makes handmade party decor, and her daughter makes matching outfits that they sell in their Etsy shop. And you can find them on Etsy and Instagram at Party Decor and More, but it's Moore.
Like my last name.
Just like their last name. And she says her newest passion is hand lettering, inspirational quotes, drawing, and watercoloring gouache, which you can see her work at Terror38, which is TerrBear 38. So welcome, Terri. And your bio, you said you've always been crafty or artsy. You've always been creative, artsy, you called it. Would you have ever seen yourself like being an artist and having a business as an artist growing up? Is that always what you've wanted to do?
Well, I always knew I was going to do something creative. Definitely. I mean, as a kid, I was always the kid that my mom took me shopping, it was the crayons and the art supplies.
Yeah.
And, I was also, homeschooled as well. And,
Oh, yeah.
Did a lot of art during that time too. And my grandmother and my mother, they're both also artistic. So
Wow. So it kind of runs in your blood.
yeah, definitely.
When did you decide to then take some of your creativity and begin an Etsy shop? How did that all transpire? Tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, I've done many different things ever since I got out of high school. I've always pretty much been self-employed. I've always made a business out of something.
Yes.
And when I first got out of high school, the first thing I did was go into the baking business. And that was another story there. But as that fizzled out and didn't go the way I wanted it to go for numerous reasons, I got burnt out and stuff. I ended up being a nanny, and then I got into singing, and then, after that, I ended up doing nails. And nails I did for quite a long time, but unfortunately, that kind of was going toward the end of its path too. And I had met up with some people online and gotten into stamping.
Okay.
Like rubber stamping, clear stamping, things like that, and got into scrapbooking, not as much, but card making. And that's actually how it started.
Oh, awesome.
Making handmade cards by using stamps, rubber stamps actually. And I started selling, that's what I started my Etsy shop with. That's how it started, was selling cards. It was actually Cards by Terri, or Cards and More by Terri. But unfortunately, the cards did not sell well.
Yeah.
An extremely hard market to break into. A lot of competition, and it just wasn't going well, and I was getting really discouraged, and it was really disappointing. But I just didn't give up. I just knew I had to keep going, and I was doing a lot of online challenges at the time when there was a lot of stamping going on. And one of the challenges had come up, I think it was like a color challenge or something. And somehow I ended up creating a party hat, matching invitation, and like a cupcake stand. It was kind of like a 3-piece set kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is basically what started this whole thing. It was pretty much the party hat that took off the entire thing.
Wow.
And that's how it happened.
Yeah, and I love that because you could have given up after the cards. What was it? Cards and More didn't take off, but you just kept going and kept trying new things, and it was like it wasn't accidental because you were intentionally being part of these challenges, but it was just something that came about as you were out there creating, as you were out there learning and continuing to grow as an artist, that then this other idea for the Party Decor and More store came up. And did you ever hesitate to take your love of arts, and your artistic ability and turn it into a business? Was that ever something you hesitated with? It doesn't sound like it.
I didn't, because for me, I like, even with the baking business, anything I had as a hobby, I guess my thought is, if it's something you love, why not try to not just make money out of it, but do something you enjoy?
Right.
Time for a career, I mean, so many people are doing things that they hate.
Right. Yeah.
And, of course, you need to make money, and of course that's tough. I mean, being an artist is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
But my main mindset was always do something that you enjoy doing. And so that's why I always pushed on until I get to the point where I know I can't go any further, which is basically what happened with the baking business,
Yeah, my husband talks about that a lot. He's just like, Shelly, I just feel like, there's always got to be something for any person like that they just really love. They don't have to be stuck in a dead end job. And yeah, it takes sacrifices, right? It takes perseverance. It's like I've said recently that I feel like God showed me that I learned a lot of endurance in my growing up years from some of the things that I went through, traumatic events and things. And I feel like that's really helped me to even like endure in business, because you will have failures, right? I mean, you will have times that something doesn't work out, or maybe this month your Etsy shop isn't making as much, or, sales go up and down. And so like, how have you dealt with some of those, like, with that card idea, you initially started that and that could have been perceived as a failure. But how have you dealt with those things along the way in your own journey?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times cards weren't selling and I was so discouraged, and it was just trying to just keep going and doing it. I mean, I still was doing nails at the time, so I still had something else.
Right.
But I just knew I wasn't ready to give it up, and just somehow, some way, just by that challenge, it just set me off onto a different direction. And it just took off from there. I mean, I did, all the paper goods for quite a while till my daughter graduated from high school. And then she slowly started adding in the matching tutus and onesies and stuff. And then that took it all to another level, so.
Wow. So somebody can go to your shop and they can get the paper like party goods, but they can also get a matching outfit for their child that matches. Oh, okay. That's cool.
That's the whole point of our whole premise of our shop is it's a one-stop party shop. You can get everything all together. It will all match. I mean, matching is big to me. It's like, why buy from 4 different places when you can get it all in one place? And, that's kind of our premise. That's the way we kind of go. And we found that our niche really is 1-year-olds is just kind of where we're at with the first birthday. And also we do a lot of animals. We do a lot of dogs and cats, believe it or not. It's really something is really important now for people to celebrate their animals as well.
Yeah. And I think that's good that you've, really found what's working well for you and have been able to grow that. Where would you say you're at right now in your career as an artist? Like, where has your shop grown to, or, what's ahead for you now?
If you were to look at my shop and you look at my numbers, you would say, oh my God, how did she do that? I mean, the numbers are big of our sales, but at the same time, this past month has been really bad for us. Super, super slow. I mean, it's been the slowest it's been in a really long time. And so because we have had the success, it doesn't mean that it's going to be consistent all the time. But you have to keep going. You can't give up. I mean, that's the whole thing, and it's hard. It really is. But then you say to yourself, okay, well, this isn't working. Why isn't this working? And then you go and say, well, what else could I try? And you just got to keep thinking about it. You say, why aren't they buying this? And why aren't they buying more than this? And I mean, it's a constant thing. It's hard working for yourself. It's tough, and being an artist on top of it, it's hard. But if it's something you really truly believe in and you're passionate about, you just got to keep moving forward.
Yeah. And it's so rewarding, isn't it? Like when you're shipping out these things that you've created and they're going to be used at a birthday party in
Right.
someone's
Oh, yeah. I
home.
mean, we love getting the pictures and seeing,
Yeah.
the outfits and the party decor being used and saying, we created that. I mean, in our bio, we even say, you're buying a work of art created by hand that can last a lifetime. This isn't, you just go into Walmart or Target and you just, or Party City, and you buy something and you throw it in the trash can.
Right.
Made by hand. It's not mass produced. It's a big difference.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good selling point for anyone who's selling on Etsy is, that it's made by hand and from your heart, and you're supporting small businesses and all of those things. So if somebody is, has an Etsy shop or wants to start an Etsy shop, like you've had a lot of success, what are some tips or ideas that you would have for someone in that position?
Yeah, I tell you, I've been through so many different things to try to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And the minute I think something works, then it stops working.
Right.
Because I think Etsy is just constantly changing things. It's
Yeah.
so hard to know exactly with the algorithms and the tags and the titles, and I mean, I'm constantly working on those things. Just as when I hear, oh, you've got to stuff the titles, then I hear you don't stuff the titles, and then you match
Yeah.
the tags and you don't match the tags. And then there's the descriptions have to be this way, and the pictures are supposed to be this way. But for us, what we really find is that most people don't read the descriptions. I mean, I can't tell you how many times people come to me and ask me questions that are right there.
Right.
So in that sense, I think pictures are important. I mean,
Right.
you have to have good photos for people. That's what they're going to catch. Pretty much is going to catch their eye the most, I think. But also, don't just depend on Etsy. I mean, take it out of Etsy as well and promote wherever you can. I mean, unfortunately, Instagram hasn't really worked for us. I mean, I don't know if it's just because of the nature of our business, but Pinterest is what I'm focusing more on.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much where people go to look for party ideas and things like that. So I think it's a matter of looking at what you sell and trying to figure out the best place to market it. Don't just depend on Etsy to do everything for you, because there's just
Yeah.
too many. There's too saturated.
Yeah. I recently published a podcast episode about like, don't make this Etsy mistake. And the mistake was, putting up a shop and expecting like, build it and they will come, and not doing any marketing.
Yeah.
It's like,
just put the listing there and say,
but yeah, it's one of those things where it does take consistent marketing for anything that you're selling, whether it's on Etsy or otherwise.
yeah.
And in that podcast episode, I share 7 ways to drive traffic to your Etsy shop from outside of Etsy.
Yes, and I did watch that, and I actually I got all the way up to the 6th one, and then I had something come up and I couldn't finish the rest. But yes, those were all good ideas.
Yeah. And so I really, I think that's a great advice of, not just depending on Etsy. Yes, optimize Etsy. That's what I teach in my Etsy shop makeover course of, doing the Etsy SEO, setting up your pictures in a way that's compelling, using promoted ads and listings in a way that's not going to cost you a lot. But, also realize there's this whole world outside of Etsy too.
Yes.
So
the promoted ads, that was another one. We turned those on late last year, and that did help us for a long time. We did get success with that for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, right now, it's April. Easter was so late this year. I mean, people had so many different spring breaks. I mean, you just think to yourself, what could be causing all of the down? You just go through it in your mind. And you can pull things out like that. For us, we do really well towards the end of the year, and not just because of Christmas or New Year's, but one of our best sellers is our Winter Wonderland line.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah. So,
Yeah, and that's a typical high time for most Etsy shops is the end of the year.
Right.
But that's why I think it's also good if you can to diversify, so you're not just depending on that one stream of income, but to know that it's going to take testing and tracking and tweaking and a little bit of sweat equity, right?
Yeah, believe me, you're not going to be a millionaire off of it. That's for sure. But if it makes you happy doing it, one of the most important things. I mean, I'm lucky that, I have a husband that helps me, but at the same time, it's just, you doing what makes you happy makes such a difference.
It does. Doing the things that you love will bring you to life instead of like almost like a slow death, at a job that you just really don't like. So, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your story. If people are inspired and they want to know more about your shop or connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can just come to our Etsy shop at Party Decor and More, and they can, private message us there. Or, like you said, they can also find us on Instagram as well.
Yeah. And again, it's Party Decor and More, Moore. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your story, Terri. And I just wish you the best success, and that God continues to just give you so many new ideas, and that your shop continues to thrive.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you all for listening today. I pray that you are encouraged, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, YouTube friends. We're so glad that you're here. Make sure that you click the red subscribe button and then click the bell next to it to make sure that you're subscribed and that you'll get notifications when we post new videos for you. Before you leave, I wanted to share with you a free gift. I have a free training called How You Can Earn a Full-Time Income as an Artist, a $97 value for free, and you can sign up for that free gift at yourcreativeadventure.com/artist income. And if you've wanted to turn your passion for art into income, then this training is for you. So you're gonna learn 10 real life examples of what's working today to earn money as an artist. They're real life case studies. I'm going to share with you how diversifying your income can help you grow your art business much faster. You may struggle if you're relying on one income stream only. You'll learn how to sell your artwork online, the specific partnerships you should consider as an artist, and 2 passive income streams that can be very profitable. And the cool thing is that artists that have taken this free training are getting results. For example, Valerie Lynn said 10 days after watching the webinar, she had already sold $400 worth of art. And Shannon Santa Maria said that after watching the webinar, she took the risk and took her work to a boutique and sold over half of her items. What do you have to lose? There are so many opportunities for us as artists today. Sign up for free at yourcreativeadventure.com/artist income, and then let me know your takeaways and your results. Tag me at Your Creative Adventure. I can't wait to help you make money as an artist doing what you love. This is Shelly Hitz. Thank you so much for joining me in this free training.